What do you mean you're missing Wrestlemania, Roman? Can't have it. Roman, you are Mania. That's my whole plan. Have you hit Goldberg with 15, 16, maybe 17 spears? 1, 2, 3. Have you win the Universal title? Now my plan is ruined. Tampa wants to do a stay-at-home order. All jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns has announced that he will be missing WrestleMania. Now, I would assume, as far as we know, it is because of potential coronavirus complications that could come as a result of leukemia. Could definitely understand it. But it puts WWE in another difficult situation because now they will have to find a replacement for Goldberg. I've heard rumors of Braun Strowman. I think Matt Riddle would be a suitable replacement. We're going to talk about this entire situation, what Roman Reigns missing WrestleMania means. And I'm going to basically walk you through the process and basically what I think should happen as a result of this. The news has come out. Roman Reigns is going to be missing WrestleMania after his feud that has been built with Goldberg, very poorly by the way, has been built with Goldberg for the Universal title. Roman Reigns is going to be missing WrestleMania. I'm going to say that this is because he maybe doesn't feel comfortable. A lot of people don't feel comfortable. A lot of the wrestlers don't. And again, that's one of the reasons why they're doing multiple locations, pre-recorded, just to avoid having so many individuals in one crowd at once and just in one situation. So again, a lot of us from a fan standpoint, we don't like the pre-recorded stuff. We don't like all of that, but you certainly have to respect and understand it. What I don't understand is why the event is still taking place. WrestleMania 36 does need to go on, but it doesn't need to go on now. You could prevent a lot of these problems and a lot of wrestlers feeling uncomfortable and sitting out of the show had they elected to delay it till the summer. Again, addressing the people that say, what happens if it's still going on? You cross that bridge when you get there. The two pay-per-views that follow WrestleMania are really no importance. Extreme Rules doesn't need to happen. Money in the Bank is an important concept, but it doesn't need to happen on its own show. Okay, that's just another money grab. Both of those shows could be crowdless. Okay, you don't need a crowd for that, but WrestleMania, you do need a crowd. So that is where the problem lies. The problem with me will not lie in the decisions they're making. The problem lies with them going on with the show, period. Okay. So we get the news yesterday. Roman Reigns announces that he's going to miss WrestleMania. And again, we know that he has had his battles with leukemia. Now, I don't know completely, but I want to say that leukemia is a disease where it can compromise your immune system and make it more difficult to fight off illnesses. I, again, have an immune system deficiency as well, so I can definitely understand that. Again, it's a trying time. I do respect all the wrestlers going out there and just performing. I do respect the hustle. I do respect the grind of them trying to give entertainment, but at what cost? And that's the question. So Roman Reigns is not going to fight Goldberg, and the thing that sucks about this, and from WWE's standpoint, is that Roman Reigns versus Goldberg was not just a match. Maybe it was to us, but to them it was one of their key matches. It was a main title match. A lot of people get screwed over from this, and this is by no means whatsoever Roman Reigns' fault. I want to make that very clear now. I am not putting Roman Reigns in any type of blame. The first thing is Bray Wyatt, because now whatever happens with Goldberg, Bray Wyatt dropped the title. The whole idea, they knew from January on. They don't do long-term booking because we know this, but WWE knew from January 1st on, the goal was to have Bray drop the title to Goldberg and have Reigns beat Goldberg at WrestleMania. There's no doubt in my mind the second Goldberg back, that was the agenda. Now that's thrown away. You can still have Reigns versus Goldberg, but it won't be at WrestleMania, and that takes a little bit of whatever type of excitement anyone had for it going into it away. Okay? So it's not Roman Reigns' fault, but now Bray Wyatt, who was this character that WWE has built correctly and successfully, dropped the title to somebody that's 53, who is probably most certainly going to be holding the title after WrestleMania. Roman Reigns will not be there. Bray Wyatt may have dropped the title for no reason. Now what? Well, the first name that comes to my mind for Goldberg's suitable replacement, WWE doesn't read news, would be Matt Riddle. Why Matt Riddle? One, he's young. He could certainly use the spotlight. Two, Matt Riddle and Goldberg have real-life heat, meaning that they have a genuine dislike for each other. We saw the backstage segment that was what I believe non-scripted, where they were kind of, just saying snark remarks to each other. Matt Riddle's a phenomenal talent. I think he is really one of the best that WWE has right now for that standpoint. So And if I was the C or CEO, if I was Vince, I know some people might think this is crazy. I would have Riddle face Goldberg and get over, have him win, because that doesn't do anything. And again, that adds to it. Why would you have Matt Riddle on a WrestleMania stage and just have him get washed by Goldberg? Because you know if Matt Riddle was fighting Goldberg, he's not winning. I mean, God forbid. But even just the thought of having Matt Riddle on the WrestleMania stage would be great to begin with. He's someone that could use it, but WWE does not think that way. They know they have real life heat. They have a week to build it, have Matt Riddle show up on SmackDown tonight, and go from there. But it would have to escalate fast, because now anything that Goldberg is doing, I wasn't really a fan of the Reigns and Goldberg feud to begin with, but anything that Goldberg is doing, or anything with the Universal title that doesn't involve Bray Wyatt from this point forward, there's no time. You can't build a WrestleMania feud in 1 week. So that's where the problem is. Reigns and Goldberg wasn't built that great either. There's really only been 2 feuds that have been built good. Orton and Edge has been absolutely phenomenal. The build to that has been picture clear. Randy Orton's been on fire. And even Styles Taker, not as exciting maybe, but Styles has done a pretty good job of pushing the right buttons to get Undertaker agitated, to get him to call for this match. They're calling it a boneyard match. I want to say that that's pretty much a match where it's in a graveyard. It's not a buried alive match. And one of the people said that they are not going to do a buried alive match or a casket match because of what's going on. I actually don't know how much realism is behind that. But that's basically it. Matt Riddle makes the most sense. He can really, and for those of you that don't know, Matt Riddle could go toe-to-toe with Goldberg. Matt Riddle is that great, and I think, honestly, he's one of the top 5 superstars in WWE right now. A lot of you that don't watch NXT might not know, but Matt Riddle is really something special. And he's got the size. I don't think he maybe has the strength that Goldberg does, but Matt Riddle is a strong SOB, and he's one of my favorites personally as a wrestler right now. So I think that Matt Riddle and Goldberg is the first thing that comes up. I don't know how much a Fiend Goldberg rematch would make sense. Now, here's the situation. The first thing I see at work is a match that we don't want to see. But again, they hype up Goldberg, where I feel like they're not going to ever have somebody that's smaller than Goldberg. I feel like at this point, anybody that Goldberg fights now or in the future has to be his size or bigger. They will never have wrestlers that are smaller than him. Which is why the first thing I saw was Braun Strowman, and I said, God, no. But they'll probably do it. Because Braun Strowman will not beat Goldberg. So, I mean, we knew Reigns was going to win the Universal title anyway, but Braun Strowman will not beat Goldberg. Now it goes from a championship match to probably a 2-minute squash match. Braun Strowman will get the shit kicked out of him. He will not win, so we know it's almost 99.9% chance that Goldberg will retain the title, which means that we have to see Goldberg continuing going forward. Where we could have seen Reigns win, and to be honest, I know a lot of people, I was one of the people that shit on Roman Reigns when he was a main star. But he's grown on me a little bit. It has nothing to do with the things he's battled. That's a different type of respect. But he's grown on me in the standpoint of he is now, he's gotten a little bit better on the microphone. He was awful on the microphone in his main event run. The ring, he's been okay. He's just, a lot of it was just a sense of seriousness. Where him and Seth Rollins completely switched. Seth Rollins, I can't stand to even look at now. Seth Rollins, when he was a heel, 2015 Seth Rollins was gold. He was just so good on the mic. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world, still is. But that was just, one of those situations. Obviously, Ambrose went to Moxley and AEW, but that's the problem with it, because now when you insert somebody like Braun Strowman, it takes away any type of believability that he would win. Now, that's just a rumor. We don't know exactly, and that's part of the problem, is that it's a rumor, but if it's a match that they already filmed, that's why I'm trying to be very on edge with WrestleMania-related stuff, because I know that some of it is actually already done and filmed, and we've all done a pretty good job of avoiding spoilers, knock on wood, but that's just kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about. Braun Strowman, it's not something anybody wants to see. You can't get mad at Roman Reigns whatsoever, but it's definitely a sticky situation for the Universal title, and we're definitely going to probably get a major announcement tonight on SmackDown. We're going to see what Goldberg says. I don't know how they're going to play it off on TV. Are they going to say it's because of this, Roman Reigns doesn't feel safe? Are they going to say some medical reason? I don't know exactly how you could
play that off, because what WWE does a lot is they like to throw shit under the rug and pretend it never happened. You know, the Chris Benoit thing was completely different. I don't even know why I brought that up. I brought it up because a lot of, you know, the documentary, Dark Side of the Ring, all that type of stuff, that's a completely different situation. The guy murdered his family and he killed himself. You can't avoid that, okay? They publicly addressed it on Raw the next night. They did the same thing on ECW, and they never mentioned his name again. This is different. How do you explain Roman Reigns not being in a main event like title match on WrestleMania? That's my situation with it. I want to try to make some of these videos longer. I feel like I've been talking since the beginning of time, but it's only touching 10 minutes. Again, I know a lot of people are quarantined. I hope everybody's staying safe during this disaster. You know, leave the house when you need to. Stay home if you stay home when you don't want to, because that's the longer that everybody doesn't follow this process, the longer that this is going to drag on. So I appreciate everybody watching. Those are just my thoughts. I will be doing a WrestleMania preview and prediction, but that's going to be next week. We're going to try different things on here in the YouTube channel coming up. We're going to try to do gaming coming within the next month or so. I appreciate everybody watching. Pleasure's always mine.